Yeah, I've just seen a message from someone actually saying, buy box locations online. Do you think we could actually put a link, so a button link actually on the website, so it might be easier to take them to that buy box link? We'll start this in 4 minutes.
Yeah, make sure everyone mutes themselves anyway, because I can hear your little one, Adam.
Yeah, sorry.
Just checking in, Mason. Just wondering when we will be starting. Did you say it's another 2 minutes from now to let people join in?
Yeah, we'll start this at 35 minutes past, so yeah, in 3 minutes.
Lovely, thank you.
No problem.
Sorry, yeah, is that what you're saying there, Andrew? The wife is with him. It's not like he's being left alone. It's okay.
Right, so let's make a start. Tonight is obviously the first time we're using YouTube. So let us know as well if anyone's having some difficulties or whatnot. So obviously we're trying this out for the first time. So yeah, we haven't got many obviously updates today, as you know we are doing this every night to get you as updated as possible. We're still waiting on some answers. So we'd like to. Well, I'd like to first start this off by thanking and please. Yeah, I do apologise if I get your name wrong. John McLaughlin has basically put us in touch with the chair of the Polymer Society. So we'll be talking to them tomorrow. So hopefully that will help us out getting more materials, etc., down the line. I think some of the other admin as well had some other stuff to say. I think, Adam, you wanted to mention about the buy box and about,
Yeah. So, yeah, for all the people that have already put orders through with buy box, apologies with people not getting sent out the pins. I know a couple of people have actually been out to lockers and stuff and not had their pins. Sorry about that. It turns out that we were under the impression that buy box shouldn't be sending those pins out for us, and instead they actually send them to us to send to you guys. So a little bit of a mix up there. But they have all now been sent out to people with existing orders, and anyone who places orders going forwards, you'll get sent them out as part of your email with your packing slip on them.
cheers. So we wanted to obviously, I think mostly tonight obviously is going to be filled with just answering questions mainly. So yeah, do obviously one of the admin team want to help me with this? We start answering some of these questions we're getting through, and yeah, so we'll be looking. There's a chat on the YouTube channel as well.
So there's my little one is probably more of a geek than I am. Even though he's only 4 months old, he already helps with problems. Also from Rob Norris and Andrew Waters about buy box. So buy box is it's a locker system where you can go to it and put your drop your parcels in there, and then they'll ship it off to Argos. It's like a best way to describe it. It's like a reverse Amazon locker, basically. Through the way we're using it, but through a kind of company called Buybox and
yeah, and then they're doing the network a really big favor. They're offering the network to us for free, completely free to utilize that to get the get the prints to Argos as quick as possible. So I had a question today actually from someone that responded to him. And there was asking how long does it typically take from submitting your prints to receiving filament for the reimbursement. So you for instance, let's take the scenario, you go to buy box, you enter your pin, you put your parts in, they will then pick them up the following day, so the following morning they will be taken to Argos that day, and from the Argos obviously have to check the quality and package them, and then what they do from there is they obviously get them out the door, so that's probably a day spent in Argos, and then probably a day to get to where they need to be. But obviously once they've arrived at Argos, they notify the system. So that second day in after you submitted, notify the system, and your filaments then will be shipped out that following day, which we have a lead time of roughly around a week. So you're looking, from submitting your prints, you're looking, 7 working days till you get your filament. If that's correct, Adam, yeah?
Yeah. So with the film going out, just so people understand how the logistical nightmare that is. It is all that logistical nightmare falls on me. So all the filament is sat in my garage. It's me and my wife doing it after my little one's gone to bed to be able to get all this out. So hence why I'm saying a week to obviously give me enough time to get it done, as well as doing my other jobs. Obviously making sure we've got logistics all sorted out and also the technical side sorted out as well. But generally I'll be doing it every other day, not obviously doing it over weekends. So I'll be putting orders together on Sunday night, ready to get picked up Monday. So anyone that's got orders at the moment, they should be going out. I think, so they'd be going out on Sunday night. So they should be with you. So Monday morning, so they should be with you on Tuesday.
Danzo 21. We are currently working on other distribution points for everyone, so we are constantly working on that and to make it easier for everyone in the network to get these prints out.
So, Andrew asking about gap costs. I'm assuming that you mean is that obviously costing us money to use. Gap are basically providing a storage location, and then through other means they're getting them to IGUS. So we're actually looking at it changing where they sit in the process and putting them on the other end, so they'll be receiving the complete advisors back to them, be distributed out that way. That's one of the options we're potentially looking at with them. Hence why we're looking at a staged drawdown from IGUS, and then not from IGUS, stage drawdown from Gap. And then if there's locations where Buybox doesn't cover, we can potentially look at what we can do there, unless we can get other delivery partners on board. So it is something that we're trying to make sure that we don't leave big gaps across the country.
That's a good question, Duncan. So, yeah, Adam, I mean, have we heard anything from Buybox in terms of what's the maximum amount of visors that can be sent at once?
So Buybox would prefer if you send little and often. I did send Phil earlier a document. I'll post it on the Slack for you later. It's basically saying what the size of the lockers are. They're not concerned about the weight as much as they're concerned about whether you can get a locker that's big enough to put the box in. So they would prefer you use smaller boxes and do it more frequently. But they do have varying sizes of lockers. If I can find that, I'll post it on the Slack for everybody after this.
Andrew Walter, yeah, Buybox is now the preferred route.
So Christian, with relation to Gap deliveries, that as we've said before, there has been some problems with Gap deliveries. I was talking to Jay and Gap today. There are certain locations which haven't sent them. From that phone call we had with them earlier, that is being looked into by Gap and is being resolved hopefully as quickly as possible. They're going to get them sent over to IGUS.
I'm just also checking the questions on the Slack channel because I've seen a few people still posting them on here. So, John, I don't know, but why you can't use the chat. I don't know if someone can look into that. Emily, any idea how long it takes the points to get on the system? So your points go on the system as soon as IGUS have confirmed, the prints and checked them. Tony, sorry, go on.
So with the points, obviously, if I have seen that there's a couple of orders that people have put through for like one visor or whatever, which I'm assuming people might have put through a misclick. In the future, we are looking at a function to be able to just overview the orders that you've already sent for both incoming, redeemed orders and donated orders, where you'll be able to kind of review them and delete off any pending orders that you don't want. But they will be future features for you, but see exactly what's going on with what at any given time. That is quite a bit of work for us to get that working. So just bear with us with the detailed side of it.
Tony's question here: Have we approached Royal Mail to see if they could accept these boxes to be delivered through the network to IGUS using free post addressed at no cost to N3DPS, Royal Mail are donated? Yeah, so I actually was working for the Royal Mail last week and the week before part time, delivering letters, and I did ask them this question. The problem is the Royal Mail are stretched at the moment themselves. Because what they're having to do is they've got the ruling where it's only one person per van, and you've got to remember they've got to deliver the postal out across the country, and because they're delivering one person per van, they've had to really. It's stretching on their resources, hence why they was getting extra people in to help out part-time, especially over the Easter break. So they wouldn't be able to because their service is currently under a lot of strain at the moment anyway. Andy on Slack, yes, if you could type into YouTube, it would just be a bit easy for us. Just obviously if we was sharing content in the future, etc. as well, that we can see the questions at the same time. Cheers. Robert, we haven't had that many version 7s through IGUS yet, so we don't know what that percentage of rejections is.
Yeah, that's to Ken's question. Yes, that is very easy for me to add. It's on my list of things to do. Unfortunately, my list of things tends to get longer more than it gets shorter. I will get that added on there for you. And much appreciate that you want to donate your points back to the rest of the community.
Yeah, thank you, Ken.
So Sonic S just spoke to a few gap centres and they don't really know what's happening or what to do. They asked for you guys to contact them, include them in. So that's being arranged through their higher ups, so they should be getting passed that information down. Obviously, if they're not getting that information passed down, thanks for making us aware of it. I'm sure we can go back to Gap and get that communication sorted.
Yeah. Les, just to answer your question in terms of speeding up the version 7. We're just waiting a few answers from the preliminary tests next week. So if we're all good with that, then we can start, looking at making them improvements as long as it doesn't impede the actual design. So we'll be looking at, the settings and such.
Mason, shall I help answer Danzo?
Yeah.
21. Danzo, you said, I've seen a lot of people saying about the design of version 7 being a loose fit on the visor itself. Is there going to be an updated design for these issues? The loose fit is on purpose so that you can always tighten it with medical tourniquet. We've had field tests on this and we've had input from ICU doctors as well. It's better to have it loose and then you can just tighten it, adjust it to your head size, than have it tight and then you can't loosen it. So that is on purpose, that design. Okay. It is on purpose so that you can always tighten it with medical tourniquet.
I think, Jay, you need to put your mic on mute. There's obviously a delay there. Ken wonders, I've just asked people I know, £20 here. And has been easy to source, but I only make about 12 a day. I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry, Ken.
So I think that's in reply to the donating of points.
Right.
To his previous question. James Lang. So I made a shipping label for 35 visors. I managed to make 7 more before my printer broke for a bit. Yeah, I completely get what you've done there. That's fine. IGUS can update that. They have a level of kind of acceptable variation, where obviously you might have done some quality control, taken a couple of bits out, whatever else, and then after that, it then comes to down to us. Then we'll make manual changes for them. So if you do have more parts, by all means, just make another packing slip. Stick it in the same box, drop it at the same place, whatever. When it gets to IGUS and they open up and see 2 packing slips, that they can book them in that way. So either way, it's not that much of a problem.
Just having a look at the Slack, there are a couple of comments about Oliver Osborne. You put something about why is this version taller? It's a taller band as it adds 10 minutes printing time. I think you've had a lot of good answers there. Ken Fotley in particular, I hope I've pronounced your surname correctly. You're absolutely spot on about the CE. But I noticed that the conversation changes later on as if we're some kind of procurement. I just want to clarify what's happened with government. They issued new technical specifications for everybody to follow. You can't just make your own design and donate just like that. And that is government guidance. Now, obviously, we are a responsible organisation and we don't want to do anything that is untoward. So we're following the government guidance and that's why we're doing everything properly. All the CE standards have been checked off. Everything is, we're waiting very anxiously, I suppose, for SATRA to tell us all their lovely results. And hopefully we'll have something to celebrate soon. But SATRA do have a long queue, so we have to be all patient. They are inundated, so we are following the right processes. Further on, I did notice there were other people making comments about it was because we were going through Optimus route and we were going to sell them or whatever. We are not trying to be, we're not commissioning anything here. All we're doing is PPE. We're supplying the PPE through the right routes, with the right approvals, with the right CE waivers. That's the game here. And that's the best way to get PPE out to the right places. For any donations, obviously go through Just Giving, and that's what we're using to supplement all that filament and things that you would get back. So if anyone does know of any particular rich friends that would like to donate, please point them in the direction of Just Giving page. I hope that explains it. If there's any questions, please let me know. Okay.
Danzo 21 said we've got 40 visors. If I take small quantities, 25 miles, I'll be traveling a lot. Understand it's not so much about the quantity you're dropping off at once, more the size of the boxes you're taking. So when I say they prefer little and often could be one drop off of 3 boxes, not a problem. But they would prefer you not to go in there with a 4 foot by 4 foot box and try and get it into a locker, just because those lockers are extremely few and far between, and most of the time you'll probably find they're used up by their other customers. Basically, the reason they have those large lockers there are for more specific customers with more specific needs.
Andy Walton, I think it was. Yeah, could you, if you message Jay in the Slack group, you will get in touch with you about the headband improvements.
Sorry, Danzo, with your question about is there another route I can do in the meantime whilst looking at other possibilities? I'm not quite sure what other routes you're looking at. I'm assuming you mean delivery routes. As we've said before, we're always trying to find more delivery partners. I'm constantly trying to get more out of delivery partners for as much as possible. These companies are doing this for free, so obviously at the same time, obviously they've got to pay their staff. So obviously we can't get everything in every option and cover every single possibility. Obviously we can only do the best we can with what we can get.
Definitely. Les Shepherd, to answer your question about a few days I'll go asking about what printers and the settings, etc. Just asking the admin team, I'm pretty sure we put something forward to start looking into that and to get the channels on the Slack group about that.
Yes, I believe that was being looked into. They were just sorting out all the updated documents first, and I think they were quite busy updating those, but we can get those created. That shouldn't be a problem at all.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got those channels ready to go. It was, should I remember? Someone in the Slack, Stephen, was sorting all that out. So we're going to get those put up. He's done a fantastic job making all these, and they're going to go live in the next couple of days.
Yeah, James Lang, in relation to Amazon lockers, Amazon are doing their own community efforts. So Amazon have a charity through themselves, and also their locker system. It's set up for their system. It is something we've tried to talk to, but there are various technical problems and stuff there for those guys to spin that around. Believe it or not, even for a company like them. Plus, their lockers are even more busy than ever, with obviously more shops being closed, and what obviously shops are open are selling essential goods, but obviously people still need to buy clothes and other items where the shops obviously are closed. So Amazon are rammed.
Yeah, Jay's mic's just not working at the moment.
Rob, Norris, that is something that is being looked into, is getting some good quality print settings for everybody for PLA, PETG, and actually the other variants with the different printers and different nozzle sizes. We can't do it per every single individual printer, because that would be one extremely long list. We have also got some other things we're potentially looking at doing to be able to help out with that as well.
Andrew Walter as well. Yeah, we can look into that in regards to a channel for test prints for setting up. So I'm assuming by that you mean, for those who are, currently homing in the printing settings, that they can post pictures just asking for help for that. I'm assuming.
Yeah, Charlie, exactly why we're only able to do print settings for like nozzle sizes and stuff. And exactly as you're saying, there's far too many variables between an Ender 3, a Prusa, an Ender 5, even all these different makes and models of printers, which make that list impossible to write. Yeah, again with the settings, Sonic. We've been, various admins have been running tests with various different sizes, printers, and everything else, so we can try and get a good benchmark for people to obviously go from there and obviously deviate as needs be, dependent on their printer.
The channel as well for test prints, I've just created that if you want to start populating that.
Yeah, Andrew, I think that's a fairly key point, especially for anyone new to 3D printing. One of the best guides to check what your print's going to look like before you actually press print is just to make sure that you do check around the part on your slicer, make sure there aren't any gaps. Obviously, there'll be minor lines, and obviously that's perfectly normal. But if you've got any big gaping gaps in there, then you're going to see that when you actually press print. So yeah, well, we should just make sure you check your parts, especially for all the new people at 3D printing rather. Christian, the benefit of a 3MF would be more, in this case, would more be for the fact that we could give printer settings. But again, that goes down to we'd have to have printer settings for each individual printer, and even then, each individual printer isn't necessarily the best. You can't compare two printers together so well.
Definitely, because you got to think about how many times that person's used that said printer, which puts more strain upon the motors, upon the drive belts, etc. So your tolerances for each different printer is going to change even if you have the same manufacturers. So there can still be a lot of variation in these printers, and especially for the lower cost printers, there's even more of a variation and a wider tolerance.
So I'm going to slightly jump over one here as well. So Ewan and Danzo, so in relation to other locker providers, so we are in talks with, or trying to get in talks with, or already have been in talks with pretty much every logistics supplier we can think of. And in relation to the buy box size restrictions, as I said, I'll find the document with all the different size lockers. Obviously, it'll tell you exactly what sizes will fit in what kind of size lockers. Obviously, the smaller you go, the benefit obviously with the buy box lockers, if you go there, it will say, for example, open the smallest locker it's got, and then you say that no, that's not big enough. It will then go to a bigger and bigger locker. But obviously, if you start right at the end, then if there's not one of those that size available, then unfortunately you could potentially have a wasted trip. And unfortunately, there is no way for you to find out if that size locker is available for you before you go to the locker itself.
I just seen a message up here. I've lost the name now. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Robert Norris, asking if it's acceptable to fill small voids with epoxy resin. No, you can't fill the voids with epoxy resin just because it's using a different material for starters, mixing it with that material. Which if when we're taking these for approval and people are utilising these, they're expecting them to just be made up of one material, not having different type of materials laced upon top of it or filling up holes. So yeah, sorry, that's a no to using the epoxy resin.
So good point there as well. With relation, sorry, anyone else having issues with nearest buy box location not doing anything? Essentially, yeah, David, with the buy box locator, that is something we've discovered a weird nuance with it, and that is something I'm looking into and trying to find out exactly why it some lockers seem to show under some conditions and some not in others. So that I'm trying to find out more details of why it's doing that, depending on the link that you use to get there. So also with the buy boxes, if you do take more than one box and when you get there, you scan the barcode of the first box, ask for your PIN, you put your PIN in, you put it in the locker, you can then say on the screen, you can add another box or do multiple deliveries. Or if you have shut the box, you can just scan the next one, put the next PIN in and whatever else. So you can do multiple boxes at once as well, just to make that clear for people. Great to hear that, Christian. Hopefully we'll have that in IGUS on Monday when they're back in work.
Yeah, just noticing the time, guys. Yeah, so we're going to be using this, YouTube live from now on to do these daily updates. So yeah, just a reminder that these daily updates will be at 8 o'clock every day throughout the week. That's Monday to Friday, that is. And we'll put the link in. Now we know it's working, everything, we can put the link in a lot earlier now in the Slack, and we'll also post the link on our social media channels, which just also reminds me to please, can you all, like and follow the social media channels and share out the Just Giving page. The more funds we get in, the more materials we can get for you guys, and we can keep that material reimbursement going. And our main thing at the moment is we need to get as many of these visors in as possible as well, to start shifting all the prints. So yeah, if any of the admin team have got anything to say?
Yeah, about the social media, go check out our post today of them in use in a care home. I know you've all been waiting for us to post things like that, so go and give it some love and follow us while you're there.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is just the wizard in the background that's not been really saying a great deal has been.
I was going to say this, yeah.
Running the YouTube. Wish him a happy birthday. Even today on his birthday, he's been beavering away in the background, fixing the buy box problem. Even when advised to take the day off and enjoy himself. So,
yep.
Happy birthday, Alfie.
Yeah, thank you, Arthur. Yeah. So yeah, we'll leave it there, and yeah, we'll be back again on Monday with more updates. And again, yeah, we're doing this over YouTube. So yeah, please just go check out the social media post and share the Just Giving page if you can, please. And we'll see you shortly.